1:22 time, the platform. Philasande Sixaba from Supersport joins us. A long time since we've had a chat. Welcome back to the show, my friend.
Yeah, thanks for the invite again, Martin. Always good to be back on the show.
How good was that test match?
Bruising, entertaining, but really good. I mean, I think it's South Africa looking forward to a 2 test match series against Ireland that has been, talked about for a long time since that final whistle at the World Cup. So, yeah, it was really good. Just a couple of casualties, particularly on the Ireland side, but pretty good test match all round.
Did it feel to you that it was at least the same standard as the World Cup, or is it even a step up in intensity?
I felt it was a bit of a step up in intensity, but particularly from South Africa's side. I think everybody was pleasantly surprised in how South Africa played, particularly in attack. I think it's been a talk of a lot of nations now, how South Africa wants to play the game and how they structure their attack. I think Tony Brown is a fantastic addition to that South African coaching setup in how they look to attack now. It was surprising how much width they played with on Saturday, which was really good. They kept the ball in hand for quite a long period of time. Normally South Africa sets up 1 or 2 phases and then looks to kick, but this new era of the coaching staff with Tony Brown involved, they look to keep the ball in hand for much of the match. So it was really good. It's a good step up from what we saw in the World Cup.
How long had the team been together? How much preparation had you had?
Not a long time, I think because of that Wales test match falling outside of the World Rugby window, so it meant that the coaching staff couldn't pick the players that they probably would have wanted to pick in terms of the seniority of it. But all the alignment camps have taken place throughout the year, which has given the coaching staff and the players enough time to sort of prepare, whether it be mentally and also tactically off the pitch, and then getting on to the pitch. I think all of the alignment caps that happened during the year sort of set them up for when they do get together and have a proper field session. So you could say it wasn't a lot of time in terms of field practice and getting systems right on the field, but certainly this group of players have been together for quite a number of years now. It's sort of a plug and play sort of a system now, especially with those alignment caps that build up into the start of the season. So, yeah, pretty good, pretty decent start from South Africa, but yeah, I think that they want to absolutely build on that and going into that second test match in Durban.
Philasande, just explain to us again the changes in the coaching setup. Tony Brown brought in, yes.
Yeah, it's Tony Brown who deals with the attack, and then Jerry Flannery brought in from the English Premiership to look after the defence after Jacques Nienaber left to Leinster, and then a couple of other additions. Duane Vermeulen is part of the coaching staff. He looks to work with Dan Human, who is the scrum coach, and Dion Davids, who's the forwards coach. So there's a lot of rugby IP that's flowing around that forward structure. And then, of course, the laws coach, if you want to call him that, Jaco Paper, who recently retired as a test match referee, is also part of that South African coaching staff who really sort of updates them about the laws of the game and how referees look to interpret them, and different referees look to interpret the laws of the game. So it's a nice sort of blend of coaches now, especially with Duane Vermeulen coming in. He brings more of the closeness towards the playing group as possible. He's recently retired, so he's played with these group of players. There's a lot of good relations between him and the current crop of players, and of course Tony Brown is world class in terms of setting up attacks. He's done so with Japan. He's done so with the Highlanders for a number of years. So it's a nice coaching setup.
Philasande Sixaba from Supersport is with us. Did Andy Farrell have valid gripes? He said questions about the referee is what he said.
Well, I mean, the referee will always be under the spotlight, whether a team wins or loses. I thought, with the new TMO protocols that they were being trialed in this series, I thought the referee was really good on the day. I thought Luke Pierce was really fair in his interpretation, both sides of the coin. And I think, if you look at the performance of both sides, they did warrant a couple of cards either side, and duly South Africa got a few. So it's one of those things that the officiating will always be a talking point, whether you're on the losing side or the winning side. And I think we hope that one day the coaches and players will move on from the discussion of whether the referee had a really good day or a really bad day.
How good was that last scrum?
Power.
Just dominance, wasn't it?
It's actually funny. It's funny, I think, when those they call it the bomb squad here in South Africa, when those 6 fresh forwards came on, you sort of thought to yourself, well, this is where the game is going to be won or lost from a South African point of view. And then that last scrum was just powerful. You've got guys that, have been in the South African setup for a number of years. And then you've got a youngish, in terms of experience at test match level, loosehead who came on in Gerard Steenkamp at his home ground. He probably, had a lot of adrenaline pumping through his veins, eager to impress, playing in front of his home fans at Loftus Versfeld. So, it was good. It's good to watch, good to see. And I think it's one of those things where South African rugby is really, really strong at and healthy in terms of the firepower and the forwards that they are able to produce. And Saturday was no different.
I got to say, the national anthem was incredible. I know that that's got nothing to do with the actual game or anything like that. Sure, it inspires the crowd. It was just joyous to see, though. We spoke about this after the World Cup, didn't we? About what that victory meant, about just the bringing together of the team, about the words from Sia, all of these different things. And I thought that manifested again in that national anthem. There's just so much emotion there.
No, absolutely. I mean, Loftus it's a special place.